I'm here at the Gorge Amphitheater where a shooting happened here late last night in the campground area. Today I've spoken with several people who were at last night's concert and are just heartbroken. I'll be sharing their stories coming up on KREM.
Half the people knew what was going on, the other half were ignorant in an event thinking they were having a great time while there's someone shooting in the campground.
Chaos and confusion in the hours after last night's shooting. Tonight, we're breaking down where it happened and how some had no idea what was unfolding just a short walk away.
Gusty winds have ushered in much cooler temperatures today, and I'm tracking a continuation of unseasonably cold weather as we move towards the first day of summer this week.
And people came sprinting in through the gates telling us there's an active shooter.
Fear, panic, and confusion. Less than 24 hours ago, a suspect opened fire at the Gorge campground while a music festival was underway at a stage just a short 10-minute walk away. Thanks for trusting KREM 2 News at 5 as your news source tonight. I'm Cody Proctor. Right now, we know 2 people died and 3 others were hurt in that shooting, including the shooter. This all happened just after 8 last night during the Beyond Wonderland Music Festival. And as we have heard from concert goers, some people didn't even know there was an active threat anywhere near them.
It was packed, people were going crazy. Half the people knew what was going on, the other half were ignorant in an event thinking they were having a great time while there's someone shooting in the campground.
Now, the reason for so much confusion has a lot to do with the layout of the venue. Here is a map of the Gorge. You can see the stage here in the upper left-hand corner. That's where thousands of people were last night during the shooting. Meanwhile, the shooting itself happened here in Standard Camping, which is about a 10-minute walk away from the concert venue. Tonight, we have team coverage in Grant County. KREM 2's Janelle Finch is at a gas station not far from the Gorge Amphitheater venue where people stopped on their way out of town today. She spoke with concert goers to find out how they're feeling in the aftermath. But first, we start off with our chief journalist, Amanda Rowley. She's joining us now live from the venue entrance with what details we know so far. Amanda.
Yeah, Cody, I have been watching a trail of cars and RVs leaving the Gorge today, and that's because all events planned for today have been canceled. Now, just to be clear, media has not been allowed onto the Gorge property today, but I was still able to talk with several people who have been to the concert throughout this weekend, and they tell me they are heartbroken about what happened here.
The Beyond Wonderland Festival at the Gorge Amphitheater was meant to be a weekend of fun and beauty, an experience Vanessa Frank didn't want to forget. So she snapped this moment Saturday evening.
At first I thought it was beautiful because it was just 2 trees and the hammock and the camp. Those people who were camping right there had no one around them.
But that peaceful moment she captured on her way to the venue suddenly became a terrifying one.
And now looking back on it this morning, like I said, it's kind of like a horror scene. Like, it reminds me of that was when we were running.
Vanessa and her friend Alex ran to the venue because they learned of an active shooter near their campground. The venue seemed like the safest place to go.
But as soon as we got to the first people we saw, they were like, get in here. Evacuation, get in here.
The Grant County Sheriff's Office says a shooter fired randomly into a crowd at the overflow campsite of the Gorge at 8:25 p.m. Officers surrounded the area and took the alleged shooter into custody.
We saw people getting into other people's tents to hide because it was the closest spot.
The Sheriff's Office says the shooting resulted in 2 deaths and injured 3 people. The shooter was among those 3. As law enforcement investigated the scene, Beyond Wonderland tweeted the Gorge Gate H campground was closed off. Some witnesses told me that meant people couldn't access their belongings in the closed-off area.
There was a girl who mentioned about how she wasn't able to get even change into warm clothes after the show.
Bailey Conley asked to not be filmed, but she told us she and her friends donated whatever extra blankets they had.
Yeah, we had a lot of people from our group that were coming through and just around that were obviously trying to get together and hey, do you have some blankets? I'll trade you sleeping bags.
Because this is an officer-involved shooting, the North Central Washington Special Investigation Unit is taking over the investigation, which means all future updates will go through that agency. Grant County Sheriff's Office did share today families of the victims have been notified, and their identities will be released in a few days.
Now tonight, we still do not know the identity of the alleged shooter or their motive, but of course we'll keep you updated as soon as we learn more. Reporting in Quincy, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Amanda, thank you so much. Now, last night's shooting is also raising questions of security amongst concert goers. The Gorge lists a set of rules and restrictions on their website, and you can see that list is long, and on it, no firearms or weapons of any kind. People at the concert also say they had to go through metal detectors to get to the stage, but there weren't thorough searches of cars entering the campground, something one camper says he'd be happy to comply with in the future.
I would love to see venues and stuff like that show that extra effort. And if that means that I have to spend an hour while you thoroughly search my car, that's what it means. I'm okay with that.
We have reached out to Live Nation, who owns the venue. We have not heard back from them at this point. Meanwhile, KREM 2's Janelle Finch is also joining us in the town of Gorge, just a short 10 minutes away from the amphitheater. Their people fueled up their vehicles to head home early. Janelle, as we turn to you, what have people been telling you before hitting the road?
Cody, I spoke to a lot of disappointed Beyond Wonderland fans here at Shree's truck stop today. They say that they're bummed that they have to cancel their trips early, but they also say after last night's deadly shooting, there's just no way to continue after that.
Some festival fans have been looking forward to Beyond Wonderland at the Gorge for months.
There's always good music and a good time.
Alex Baumgarter is from the Tri-Cities, but came in from Portland to attend the Electric Festival with his hometown friends.
I really like to try to get through the raves because it's super peaceful and a super accepting environment.
But the good times took a dark, quick turn on Saturday night. A shooting at one of the Gorge's campgrounds killed 2 people and injured 3 others. Baumgarter says this may affect who goes to future festivals.
I can see it being a big deal for like new ravers because they're trying to get that good experience and have some good time, and then all of a sudden a big deal like an active shooter is going to be traumatizing for many people.
The shooting led to Beyond Wonderland canceling day 2 of the festival. This means fans are making the drive home earlier than expected. Rio Mendez says he's disappointed his trip from Kelowna, British Columbia is ending like this.
It definitely sucks. I mean, I'm missing out on all the artists that I went to see today, but I mean, it's for a good reason. It's definitely fair. I don't think anyone's in the mood to really be partying and raving right now.
Baumgarter says he's hopeful the positive aspects of raves will bring people back to festivals one day.
For like old ravers, I think they understand that the Gorge is a really good place and rave culture is just really peaceful, so I think they understand that they can come back and they'll be okay.
According to Beyond Wonderland's website, this weekend's festival was completely sold out.
Beyond Wonderland and several of the artists that were set to perform today have expressed their condolences on social media for the friends and families affected by last night's events. Live in Gorge, Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.
Janelle, thank you so much. Now, right now, we know there are a lot of still unanswered questions tonight and a lot of confusion. So we are actually working right now to try to answer some of those questions. So here's a list of what we want to know. Right now, we're still working to get in contact with the North Central Washington Special Investigations Unit, trying to find out the identity of the suspect and their condition at this hour. We also want to know the condition of the other 2 people who were hurt and the identities of the 2 who died. We also want to know the circumstances of what led up to the shooting and what was the motive. Now, these are just some of the questions that we are working on to answer for you right now tonight. In the meantime, this is very much a developing story. For a look back at our coverage, go online to KREM.com or download KREM 2 Plus. We'll be right back with more news after a quick break.